and it's full. I mean, it doesn't scare me enough that I put a honey super on it because I did not want half of my bees to leave already.
When did you do this? You've already done it this year, or are you
Yes.
going to do it?
Think about it. At my house, I live right here in Nashville, we still had warm weather half of December. So right now, and like he was saying, they're already coming and going, bringing pollen, and it's like, it's crazy. I'm afraid everybody needs to get in their hives earlier, at least look in them, more than you would have last year or the year before, because we've not had a real harsh winter. That's not saying we're not going to have a cold snap here and hurt the bees yet, but I'm just saying beware of what you got in your hives right now. Stacy had trained and worked with me, and I know we haven't worked together in a while, but she's gonna be my assistant. She's gonna help me out. So we're just gonna pretend, there again, we're gonna work this hive here and make a split because we know we need to, and we don't really know what's in it until we get down in it. So I'm just gonna describe what I'm seeing on the frames, and y'all just have to go along with us. But like I said, right now there's bees everywhere, so you gonna suit up?
Yes. And you don't have to have a fancy bee suit that she has. I have regular mechanics coveralls that are in the dryer. I forgot them. And I just use this. So you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to be able to work your bees. Just regular. Don't use the blue ones. I tried that first. They don't work good. Buy the brown ones.
Why?
Bees don't like dark colors.
No, they're a little bit more aggressive, defensive. I'm not going to like this, but I'm definitely going to pretend it's just pine straw. What I want to do is go ahead and get my lighter, light this up, get it going just a bit. I always try to get ahead, then I wind up having to go back and fight it and argue with it. So I'm going to just puff it along just a little bit, get it going. Smoke's boiling out right now. So once I kind of get it going, then I can push it down in there. Now I've rode with Betty, our state bee inspector, many a time. What I watched and watched and watched her. Got it going, got it down in there, I got to keep it going just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add me some of these little wood chips. And put it down in there. There's something live coming out. Add a little bit more. If I add more pine straw down in there and really pack it tight, she can actually have her smoker going all day. What it does is it kind of sweats here, but it will burn all day. Now, not saying it's half the day. We may get out and she may fluff it up just a little bit and, you know, keep on. It will go all day. So in other words, I got that thing going. I'm not good to mine, but anyway. I'm going to go ahead and get ready. I take arthritis tablet. I have arthritis real bad right here. So I do take a tablet every day. So I do not like getting bees stung. Betty will work her hives and never put on bees unless you'd almost think you're in Africanized bees. But anyway, I go ahead, suit up. Here's another thing I learned. On the little form that y'all have here that I've printed out, there is no one certain steps because, like I said, there's 1,000 ways to do this. The reason we want to kind of rush on through this is because if we get done, we're going to show you someone else doing it. By us doing it and stepping you through it, and then you've seen it done, fly bees there, maybe it will kind of help you remember what you've seen and how to do this. Like I said, there is no one certain way. But, like I said, I love to wear gloves because 1 or 2 stings doesn't hurt me. If I get 7 or 8, it does counteract my medicine. And I don't like the way it makes me feel for a day or 2. So you can write any kind of notes or questions or anything like that on the back. Oh, I didn't put my eyes on. Got to have my eyes on, guys. These are just magnifiers. I wear a 1.5. Otherwise, I can't see the eggs down in the cells. I have to wear them at the end of my nose so I can still see how to walk. But I can't see them without it. So I do want to make sure that I have eggs, brood, larvae. So what we're going to do You suited up, you ready to go?
Imaginary suit.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just puff it a little bit. And like I said, I got some in here. I wanna puff them down in there just a little bit, okay? I wanna see what I got going on in here because I haven't been back in this hive. I got concerned that they were gonna swarm on me because like I said, they're really getting ahead of the ball game here. So what I did is went ahead and threw a honey super on here, trying to give them room, trying to give them space. What I wanna do, I can work this upside down, I can work in that lid. Let me see what I got in there first. Right now, it just looks like they're pulling out, still bringing in a little bit of nectar. We're gonna pretend this is sometime in March, okay? Because I'm gonna be splitting in February, because I know we're gonna get another cold spell. On this, I'm mainly teaching for the new people. You can stand on end like this, not hurt your bees. You cannot lay it on your side because you squash them. When I was a new beekeeper, I've been there too, I squashed my queen once. Okay. This is what we call a frame holder. So I'm going to go ahead and just hang it here and start looking in here and see what I got. Okay, I will tell y'all this. On these yellow ones, that's mainly honey, okay? I done marked it for myself so I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here.
Oops. Imagine.
There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't put none in there because that's gonna be something I'm gonna have to add in here a bit. Okay, on this one, wow. I mean, I got bees everywhere, okay? I'm seeing cells down in here, it's got little eggs and everything like that. I got bees hanging off the bottom here and stuff like that. And it's a nice warm day. It's about 60 degrees outside. So if it's 50 and above, it's okay, you can get in your hive. Now today, honestly, I know it was windy, but I had bees swarming at the end of my house. And they were going around and stealing the puppies' water on the back porch. But they're there. Same thing with this one. I'm just loaded up with brood here. So let's go ahead. We're going to need to make a split because I just got bees everywhere. I mean, they're all over me, everything. I'm going to go ahead and split in a 10 frame. I like working with the deeps. It's my brood boxes. Reason being, if you got deeps, you got more bees, you got a stronger hive. And I know that it doesn't matter how long you've been beekeeping, you're going to deal with the hive beetles, small hive beetles, sooner or later. That's one of your pests that can hurt your hive. Okay. I'm going to go ahead, since I'm seeing lots of eggs and brood here, and lots of bees.
And you've already swapped them boxes already
Earlier, in February. I got in them on a really warm day because, you know, bees move up. And I done saw that, wow, this hive out of all of my hives is really going crazy.
That's when she put the honey super on to keep them from swarming.
I'm trying to wait till another day to get in them so I could work them and make my splits. But,
Yeah, Ellen, explain why you would swap your boxes.
okay, because,
You could mess people up by saying that, really.
okay, there again, remember, they cluster in the center around mom and, you know, the eggs. Like I said, remember, the queen didn't really shut down laying so much in the December. So, I mean, we got more bees right now than we normally would at this time of the year. This time last year, didn't we have a lot colder winter and everything like that? And I still have my imaginary bee suit on.
There you go.
But anyway, like he's saying, the bees cluster, they'll eat the honey, they'll move up. So always just remember, but see, in my case, I had already swapped them because they were in the second box. I put Mama and the Queen down there, and she's already back up here again.
So all winter long, you start them off in the beginning of winter, and most of your bees are down here because most of your honey's up here. And by the end of the winter, early spring, they're all the way up here. So that they don't think they've run out of room, you're going to take the one with all the bees off, put it on the bottom, and put the empty one on top so they have some place to go. Otherwise, they don't really like to move down. They'll think that they've run out of room and
Ready to swarm on
vamonos.
you.
It all depends on how much brood is where.
Right.
But so far right now, like I said, we're just covered up in bees and there's lots of brood in here so far. I'm really shocked. That's why it's like, I'd already got concerned that they's gonna swarm on me before I got them split or anything. So I'm seeing more and more brood. Oh, here's my mama right here. Let me catch her. This is just a little queen too, so I gotta catch her. Here she goes. So I'm gonna catch her. Oh, girl, she don't even have her marking on her anymore. I like to mark mine. Last year's color was light blue. So I'm gonna pretend I go ahead and get my marker out because she didn't have one. So either that means that she swarmed after the fact or the blue rubbed off of her. So I'm gonna go ahead, push her up here, mark her through the little pin right there. And I'm just gonna lay her right here in the shade. She'll be all right. She's out of the wind and everything like that. So I caught my queen because I don't want to squash her, so I know where she is, and she's out of the way right now, so I'm not gonna hurt her. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them because they're just loaded up with brood, like I'm saying.
So that's 2 broods so far.
But since I got so many more broods in here, I'll probably go ahead and take 3 because I want to get a strong hive, get it going, and if I got a lot going on, I will be able to possibly pull honey off of this year. If there's enough food source around. If not, you just leave it as is and go on. Okay, now we gotta have lots of pollen and stuff so we feed our babies over here. So this one's got pollen, a little bit of honey up here at the top. That's why it will ring out. So we're gonna go ahead and put that one in here with these girls. And then of course, see, I still got honey that I haven't eaten yet. So let's go ahead and look down in the bomb box. I don't know what I have down there right now. I think that little hanger, it's not as crazy as that one. When one of these is full of honey, believe me, you know it, 90 pounds. But instead of keep cutting the handles out like that, I got to where when I'm by myself, I love putting the cleats on them. And it makes it so much easier, and that's why my suit gets so nasty, but oh well. So, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get in here. And see, I still got honey in here. So how many honeys I got over?
No honey.
Okay, go ahead and put that one in there, because they need honey, they need pollen.
You put it to the outside most of the time. You want to keep your brood in the center so it'll keep them warmer because it's still going to be cool.
See, this one's got honey in it. And this one's got a lot of pollen on it, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it with this hive. See, I still got brood down here. I mean, I'm telling you. Like I said, with these, since the frame, I love the black foundation. It helps these old guys see that white egg down in them cells. See, these are not drawn out. I didn't want to bring all that because I knew that I'd have propolis and wax all over the carpet, and I didn't want to get in lots of trouble. So anyway, I'm seeing all kinds of down in here. On these, you can flip them up like this, or you can turn them around like this. But anyway, there's lots of brood here. And then, oh man, this one here's got queen cells on it. So see, they were already getting ready to make themselves a new queen. So I'm going to go ahead, and I don't want to put it in there because I had bought me a live queen to put in there. So since I got queen cells here, I'm going to go ahead and just start me a nook out of it because I'm just covered up in bees, okay?
Is this still the middle of February?
No,
This
we're in
is
March.
Oh, you're in March now, okay.
Yeah, I'm probably going to
In
split it
in
real life in March.
In February,
You got
she
queen
went in
cells here
there.
in March, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In February,
Yeah.
she swapped her boxes.
I didn't know where you was.
Late February.
Okay. One thing, and you know, you got to hit me up when this old brain don't think like it used to, and I take hits anymore. But this one has lots of queen cells in it, so instead of destroying them, looking at it right now, there's 3 right there. I'll go ahead and just leave all 3 of them because usually they teach us, and I don't know if this is true, they'll teach us that, okay, you got 3, the first one hatches out, it's going to sting the other 2 and kill those queens. But another thing that I didn't say when we first started, when I first got in here and I got all these bees everywhere, I mean, they're all over us, I do have drones. Because see, you either buy the queen, because she's already bred, or you're going to make sure you have drones so that, you know, there's drones coming out of other hives that will mate with the queen, the virgin queen, when she hatches out. So in this case, when this hatches in 16 days, I think I wrote it on there, if you start one and don't put a Bach queen in with, you'll set yourself back a month. I figured it out, I copied it out of one of the books, it's in there. The reason being, it'll take up to close to 40 days by the time she hatches, you know, the queen hatches, that's 16 days. It takes them a day to realize, hey, I don't have a mama. But since this one's already capped off, they cap them on what, the 9th day, whatever it is, the virgin queen?
Third?
Third day? Okay. So anyway, this will be ahead just a little bit. But I don't want to destroy them because I got so many bees. And if they're going to start this, I'm just hoping that, you know, I'll save them and now I'll have 2 extra hives instead of 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my nook, baby Ed. I'll put that in the center. And then with the nook, I'm going to have to get a drink of water. With the nook, I could actually either just keep it so I would have a spare queen. In other words, not really build it up or feed it or really get it carried away. I could have me a queen always. Or I can go ahead and feed it and then transfer it in about a week or so if it really takes off.
So if you, in the future, if you have a queen die or she's not doing good, you can just steal that queen and transfer her over to a hive that's already established and going good, and then they'd make them another one. So this would be your spare. Instead of having to go out and find somebody to buy a queen from.
Kind of, what is it? 2 for the price of 1? Or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, I got more brood here, so I'm going to go ahead and add this one in. Got lots of eggs, larvae in it, so
So now there's 2 brood in the nook and 3 in the split.
but see, I got to give them some pollen too. So go ahead and give them the frame pollen.
Here and,
Yeah, yeah.
nope.
Yeah, 'cause see, we already got
Yeah.
pollen over there. And it looks to me like they're gonna need some honey as well, because they gotta feed them babies.
And you keep the brood to the inside,
So see, I got more honey
so
here.
they'll stay warm.
And, now, okay, I know that everybody says, okay, if you make a split, you gotta move it 2 miles away. No, not necessarily. I've done it, and she told me she has too. I made that one because I was gonna leave it here. I know I have to feed a split, okay? So we'll do that. Let me go ahead and get some of these others. These are just drawn out frames with comb on them, okay? So we gotta fill in all our space here. We
Or
know
you could
that.
just use blank foundation too, but.
Well, I'm just pretending these are empty. There's no brood, no nothing on it. I'm pretending they're drawn out comb already because I'm ahead of the game by having it that way. But I gotta fill up my space. Go ahead and do them and scoot them over.
If you don't have drawn out comb, then you have to just use
Just
Right, you can
foundation.
use just foundation. It'll just take them a little while longer to get established because they'll have to go in there and draw it out before they can fill it up.
And one thing that we've all learned the hard way, if you got foundation in there, and you got extra wax, or you can buy extra wax, and if you'll paint it on here, what it, okay, this one, I'm gonna teach you that here in a minute. If you'll just paint it on there, it helps them, because remember, a little female bee does not produce wax except what, the first 2 weeks they're old, when they're in there in the hive, like they shed it after under, and you know, you're helping them out, they don't have to produce that much.
Just rubbing it on don't work. I've tried that. It don't put enough on. Best thing is to melt it in a crock pot. What, you have an electric skillet?
I bought an electric skillet at
And I
Fred's
got
for
a-
$20.
And I
so-
got an old crock pot from a thrift store. It works fine.
But, I don't like the little sponge brushes things.
Uh-uh.
I mean, I build all my own frames, even these are built, they're all painted white, they just don't look that way, but they are.
And y'all paint wax on there?
On this right here, that's my brand new
Just a
foundation.
coating and they'll put their holes in it?
Yeah, see,
Now,
it's
they'll
already,
rearrange it
real light.
It's already formed, so just paint just a thin layer on there, and that helps them. They don't have to produce that much.
Like it, whenever we paint it on, they'll basically make this flat and smooth, so they'll just draw it out and make it the way they want it, so they don't have to draw it. It's already there for them to use.
I use a little roller, paint roller to put it on.
Oh, yeah?
Smear it
And of
on.
course, the wax, be careful, it'll burn you. And it's very flammable, so be cautious of where you do it or whatever. Okay, you got tin
Always
in
use a
there?
water bath and melting wax. Don't set the wax on fire.
Okay, she's got tin in here,
It'll burn.
and,
Catch fire.
this is the one we're gonna add our queen in. Okay, so, see, I can pretend I've already ordered me a queen. Let me shake them, they're glued down in here. Where are my queens? And then, of course, you can get them in the little boxes like this. Usually this will have a tape across. In my case, I like to go ahead and, if I was gonna re-queen it, I would leave the tape on. But I'm not gonna leave it, re-queen. I'm gonna put the original queen back in the original hive. So that's a parent hive. But in this case, they don't have one. But this is, I got a sticker in my finger. They got a bread queen in here that I purchased through the mail, came in. I can pop that little cork out, barely make a little hole down through the sugar candy here. What I wanna do is put it in here where the brood is, right here in the middle. Remember, we gotta keep it warm, we gotta keep them in. If you feel that that's too tight right now, go ahead and move the frame out. Put this in here. And I wanna bring the cork up. You don't wanna turn it upside down where she's going to do, because she's usually got 2 or 3 little,
Nurse worker, nurse
I forget what they call them.
Attendance.
Yeah, attendants, yeah.
I told you I'm brain dead today. It just, where did it, yeah, I did. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it up. The cork is out. I'm gonna put it in this way and then scoot it in into that. That way,
Squish it in the wax.
that way they're gonna still feed her through this wire. And I'm gonna leave it alone for about 5, she should be let out by these other little girls. And then they will let her out, then I will come back in a week and check it, make sure. And she should be out and I should be seeing, otherwise I don't want to disturb her. You know, she's got to try to get settled in and she's had a rough go of it trying to get from the mail to here. So anyway,
So why wouldn't you just open it up and dump her in there?
It'll kill her.
they might not accept her. And you know, I paid $30 for her.
She
so
smells different
her
than,
pheromones are different.
than the old queen.
Okay, so that is letting them get used to her
Yes.
and while she's safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And they're still gonna tend to her, the lieutenants will still feed her, and the other little girls will be all over
The
the
ones that they
cage.
packaged in with her.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
they're inside with her, and they're gonna feed her and stuff, but the rest will come up to that little wire and, you know, tend to her, get used to her.
Okay.
And you can actually pick them out and look, and if the bees in this hive are trying to chew at her through the wire,
They ball her.
then she's not ready to be let out. But if they're in there feeding her and taking care of her, then if they haven't already let her out or she hasn't chewed through, then you can go ahead and
They
let
will
her loose.
accept her. Okay, and like I said, what we wanna do, we wanna close up a split. Oh, we didn't put no, okay, we all have beetles, okay, the small hive beetles. Anybody can take a piece of trash wood and just cut them, they'll do whatever you need to do here. This one's just cut into it. But I could've got ahead of the ball game here by setting these up, and not worry about spilling them, and go ahead and add me some oil in them, okay? And these work great. So just fill it up, only about a third, less than, you know, about half, no more, because if you get it too full, then the small hive beetles can still crawl out. But once they get in it, what I want to do is I want to put these in the corners. And you say, how often do you leave them in there? Betty leaves them in year round. I've heard her, you know, tell many of brand new beekeeper when we're inspecting. But I put them closer to my corners like that because the little girls themselves are going to run them to it. And I hate for them waste their time trying to keep them hemmed up. I'd rather that, you know, they get to do something else besides garden the small hive beetles in there. But go ahead and put that on there, close up the front almost, and feed them. There's different ways of feeders. If I'd have brought another box, yeah. I already got one on this one, I just didn't put a feeder in there.
Are you gonna tell them about the grass, hay, sticks?
This is the one that, yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, that's one that Tom built, and I didn't bring the other kind of feeder. Oh, well. I could have had an inner cover, like I have for this one. Where's it at?
The Nook has one.
Enough. If I'd have had another box, I would have put an inner cover on it, and these are homemade, and just feed inside. Set that over that hole, they'll come up in under the wire. Of course, I would close that up there, because I don't want nobody getting in there, the hive beetles. And then have another box on it here with the lid on it, and all I have to do is take this off and change it out, put another one back on. But you can feed at the front, or you can feed inside of another box like that. There's different ways. Even in the winter, sometimes these are homemade, the boxes, but we buy the plastic thing, which this one I gave to my builder and it rusted out, so I haven't cleaned it up. This we cut out and made. But you can put about 4 gallons in it. In the winter it'd be fine because it's not gonna sour or go bad, and you just, remember, heat comes up. So usually we'll keep it dissolved enough, you don't have to fill it completely full or whatever. And they come up, and under the bottom here, come down in it on either side and drink, and the lid's on it. So, like I said, heat rises, so that will keep that warm enough. Okay. Go ahead and continue to close that on up on the front. You fed them. Now, on the thing, Stacy gave us a recipe that you can find online. It's like Honeybee Healthy or whatever. It's a mixture. You can add to it according to the directions that was online or whatever.
You just want the interest reducer on this?
Yeah. Turn it this way. That way,
Yeah.
when you got a split and it's so weak, you want to shut that space down. Especially since I'm going to leave it here, I don't want it close to here. If I only took a lot of cap brood, remember, I put them over here. They've never been outside, so they've not hatched out. Even the little worker bees, the little nurse bees that was taking care of that cap brood, they've never been outside the hive. They don't know they originally started over here and now they're over here. They don't know that. So when they come out, they're going to come back to this hive. But when I say that you do not necessarily have to move them 2 miles, is like she was going to say, when you put the little sticks on the front or a little bit of grass or whatever, your little girls coming and going, the little foragers are right now, they're not going to know that I had moved them from here to here. You don't have to go to another bee yard. For a long time, I didn't have but 1 bee yard registered.
For
I now
instance,
have 2 more.
last year I made some splits at Ellen's house and at my house, and I just moved them to the same, 1 concrete block away. So that all of my flying bees didn't go over there, she showed me to shove grass or hay or put a brick over the front of it, because whenever they go out the new hive, not the mama hive, but the new hive, they go out, they're confused, so they go and make their circle, and they get reoriented. So they'll go right back to this hive, and it works. I mean, we did it with a bunch of hives, and it works wonderfully.
And another thing that Betty always showed us is that we always come, you know where the queen is, okay? So I'm not going to worry about squishing her yet, but we always work them toward the center. Because remember, when you get too much space, more than 3/8 inches, which is bee space, then you get bird comb. It's easier to scrape it off the edges than it is to try to scrape it off in between the frames, and they're all stuck together. Now honestly, when you come out of the winter and you come into the spring, these things are super glued in with propolis. Remember, every crack that was there, the bees have collected propolis, and they mix it with their little enzymes and this, and it is glued down. I mean, I've practically pried frames apart trying to get them out, so it's not fun, but it is there. And the summer, that stuff is like stickier than all glue. It's worse than bubble gum, so just giving you a heads up, and once you get it in your clothes, it don't come out. It don't wash out, it don't come out. Okay,
How many hives that you split did you buy queens for, and how many did you use your own queens?
She bought one queen, put it in a split, but she had some queen cells.
I'm talking about your,
Oh,
but you
yours?
said you did a bunch of them.
oh, this is all pretend.
I know, but you said you did do a bunch of them.
Right, we've done,
We've
and those,
done it in the past,
Well, how
yes.
many did you buy queens for, and how much?
not nearly as many as that they raised themselves.
Okay.
The ones you pick them up and they've got the peanuts hanging off of them, and they're virgin queens in there running around, or you just take them and make your split off of those. We bought 10 or so last year, but not just to get some new blood in the area, not necessarily because we had to.
Because believe me, you can buy them, you put all that money in them,
And they're
no
just
guarantee
gone.
they're gonna stay with you. One thing that Betty says she does do, and I see this and I've learned it and I read it in one of the books, is every 2 years, requeen. If they've got to be building and drawing out comb and this and that, they're not gonna swarm on you. But once they're established and they're there, if you don't split them, they are gonna swarm.
Yep.
Ain't no guarantee, it's just the nature of the beast now, but the
Or you can
queens
go
is
in
there.
there every 10 days and cut out queen cells.
We did that one year. When I
They're
told her-
doing that
We
again.
worked ourselves to death. And I did not do it the following year, and I did not get any more honey off of those hives because we were taking care of Bob's when Bob got real sick. And Daddy Bob's, and then our own, and then mine, and it was driving us crazy. And we worked them, and they'd be swarm cells, but we did not get any more honey off of them. Actually, we probably got less, but it worked us to death until it almost burned you out. I mean, you learn, but
Made just as much honey doing the splits and letting them rebuild than putting 3 or 4 honey supers on top of an established too fat of a hive and having to go in there every 10 days and cut out cells. It's not worth it. You might as well just have 2 hives that you can put 2 honey supers on instead of one big hive with 4 of them on there.
okay, I got my queen in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put her in the bottom, because like I said, she's working both boxes, so she'll come back up. But I don't know where she's at. Go down, baby, go down. I talk to them.
She does.
I gotta baby them, I mean, they're my money. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put me some beetle blasters in this one. I'll put them in this one, opposite of what I'm gonna put in this one. And the reason we were trying to rush on through this, if y'all got questions, go ahead and ask, but the reason being, we actually have one DVD here that's got it on it as well, and I was thinking maybe, especially for new people, if we've kind of put hands on and having to describe it, you're having to visualize where my bees are and what I'm seeing and what I'm saying, maybe if you actually see it where the bees are all over this man, then you'll know, maybe you'll kind of retain some of what we're
And
talking
remember,
about.
she put the honey on the outside, any brood in the middle, and then you fill in the middle with either drawn comb. Sometimes it's good to put like a blank foundation and then you drawn comb, blank foundation, drawn comb. Helps them to get a little bit, they move to it a lot better. Otherwise, they kind of get stuck in a rut and won't go over to the other side.
And since I put the last ones there, I'm gonna put them in these this time. And I
Ellen, do
did-
you have drawn comb brood in the top box here?
Yeah, I do, I still got
So you
some.
got brood in both boxes?
Yes,
So she'll
like
work
I
both
said,
of them.
she's going gangbusters here, so. But then, we're gonna go ahead and feed the Nook. Now, what I'm gonna show with this is, actually, I want to, not have this one down in my bee yard, because I want to baby it a little bit more, so I'm gonna bring it up closer to my house. But like I said, remember, these little girls are not necessarily gonna drift and go back down to my bee yard down over the hill. But one way of moving them, so I don't have to worry about squishing or whatever, I can put this extra frame in it on the side here. And on a Nook, you can do this, and it'll fill in the space and it'll keep them from sliding over. I know that Britt does that when he actually had sold some Nooks and stuff like that.
Most of the time, well, you know, you've got your extra space, and a nook really has extra space for some reason. And they'll get all slopped around and.
Is there
Squish it.
questions? Is there questions to what we've done, or have I totally confused you?
Yes,
I
sir.
got one quick question. If you didn't order a queen and you didn't have a nook, you just want to do a simple split, and you took that frame out with the 3 queen cells in it, you just stick it over there and make sure you have drones in there.
That's
That's
what
right.
I'm for.
Yeah, there's drones in the air, because they won't necessarily be the ones
Okay,
that
so
come
you don't
out
have to
here,
worry
but
about
they're
them
in
being
my
on
big
the
yard.
frame and
Right.
getting them over there.
Yes.
So you could go by with just not making the nook, just making a
That's what I
sure,
wanna
just a
do,
split,
yeah.
yeah. So you just make sure that you've either got a virgin queen, if you don't have a bot queen, you got a virgin queen, or some of the peanuts, your queen cells, and put them over into your other hive. Or if they realize that if you don't have a queen cell, and you've got, eggs that are less than what, 3 days old?
Less than
Yeah.
3 days.
They'll
Yep.
make their own mama. They'll make a queen but you gotta make sure you've got that young of eggs.
How do you know they're that?
Okay,
Not like-
when Mama lays, she puts her little butt down in there, it will stand up for 3 days, then it will lay down on the 3rd day.
Gotcha.
It's hard to see, and it took me a while. I mean, I used to think, because I didn't know, I used to think when I saw cat brood, oh my, I can make me a mama. No, it ain't worked that way. That's why I said, get those magnifiers on, guys, or get you a magnifying glass.
And a lot of times if you look on the frame that she's on, most of the time that'll be where the freshest eggs
That
are.
makes sense,
And
yeah.
you'll see them
So if
standing
you
up.
wanna see comparison, pull the frame that she's on, put her away so she don't fall off or something, and then look at one a couple of frames over and you can tell the difference.
If you can't find your queen, don't do anything.
If you've got eggs, she's in there, she's just hiding.
Some of them will be runners, and you don't never see her. I mean, I've had
Well,
some.
can you not do the split then, and take a chance?
You better check really close 2 times when you put them over, because you don't want to move her. Because I did that last year or year before. Betty and I had split one of mine, and then I come back, and then it's like, well, wait a minute, there's no eggs in here now. And then I went back and rechecked the split, and guess what? She was over there. So I had moved her, not Betty. I had gone back in there, and I had moved her, so now I didn't have a queen in here. So I didn't have any eggs, but then I had to go through all of it again, and
Most-
finally found some peanuts.
Most of the time
Which
you're
is gonna be
moving
clean.
just a few over so you can really double check those frames that you're moving over. It's not good to move her, cause like she said, you'll wind up.
How long do you have to find a queen, buy a queen, or find some peanuts if you've moved the queen over to save a hive? Or does it,
Well, it's just when I got back in there and looked, they already realized now I don't have a mama, so they had started drawing out
Yeah,
another
so they would
peanut
find some
from
eggs that
the
was
most
young
recent
enough
eggs.
and then make them a new queen.
They will know, the little workers, the little nurse bees in there, they will know within usually a day.
okay, so you
So,
don't have to panic about putting them.
No, but here, let me say this. I didn't know when I first started out to not have 2 hives. It's always nice to have 2 hives to start with. Bob's saying 3. But the reason being is like, what if? In my case, I had squished it, because I mean, it was on the hillside and it was heavy and I was trying to push it up and it leaned over and it squished my old hygienic. And I didn't know it, and it's like, Betty, what do I do? And I didn't have no eggs, I didn't have no queen, until I got another one, I didn't have a second hive. So it's like, you better be making
you've
friends
got
with somebody as close to you and get a frame of eggs. I've done that
Right.
with some of them here.
If you realize that you're queenless and there's no eggs and nothing like that, you can do like we've done. We went to Britt, say, hey, you got any virgin queens? He might have one, he might not. But if nothing else, he's got a frame of eggs. You can do a frame swap and, help each other out.
Was it last year that we went to Daddy Bob's and we was actually training and teaching? And Britt was working from one end, I was up the north end coming this way. And man, every box that I got in had virgin queens hatching out. I think we,
7, 11.
There.
I thought
oh,
there
we
was
had
11.
tons of them, and some of them did live, and some people took us, spare home with you. But Britt, come here, I got another one. And he was catching them because he didn't have gloves on. He put them in the little boxes and take them on.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, what happens when you aren't prepared for it, for splitting, but you're either gonna go swarm or split? What do you do then?
Shame on you. Get ahead of the ball game right now. Be
Yeah.
building now.
So I need to order a queen.
No. You probably won't find queens just yet, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, build your equipment now, have it ready. I mean, I've just been building this base. That's kind of a modification.
And you can always
And a
make,
slant.
if like it's a right now, you think they're fixing to swarm today, you can always just move them over and they'll make their own queen with an egg, providing that it's young enough of an egg. So, I mean, you're never gonna be in that big of a pickle. And then you can, if you don't like that one, then Britt's got some for sale, or the filler from Ashdown, or if you find one that you like, then you can just go ahead and squish her, or, you know, cut out the queen cells and put
But
that
you
one
need to
in.
have extra equipment,
Yes.
boxes.
And
stuff.
build it, read books. Like, I want to say this real quick too, before we get started on this. The club has purchased close to 100, I guess, of books. These I checked out just to kind of get data. You need to get a library card, talk to Deborah, she's got a card you got to fill out. They'll mail it to you, whatever, but you can check out any of these books that the club has bought and read and build during the winter time. But, you know, they're very informative. So, I mean, I don't have online anymore, and, you know, but
What Ellen's talking about, the books are at Howard County Library in Nashville. So, I have the Howard County Library cards on the back page.
That beekeeper for dummies would answer just about all your questions in English that you can understand.
Right.
Uh,
Or
I
the
use it all the
data
time. I've got
ant
it
book
marked
is
on.
real good. The little data ant book that y'all give to the junior beekeepers is excellent.
what else do we have?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all said that you marked your bees. What do you use to mark them with?
It's a special ink pen kind of thing that you mark the queen.
Yeah, the queen.
Right.
Real quick.
This is, the last item on that sheet that I handed out is called the International Code. Flip it upside down. International Code, this is recognized worldwide. This will tell you what, okay, red is what I had in my thing. This color this year is white. I called they store down in Fulton, they didn't have me in for 2 weeks. But down here, you can look at it, the year, okay, it's like this year is 6, so it'll be 1 or white, so 2011, or 2016 will be white. Last year, was 2015, it was blue, so it was light blue.
Some
You don't-
people use the lighter color so they can see that queen.
Right, you don't necessarily
They'll
have to
white
use,
and one other.
like if you've got a small yard, like I've got 7, I mean, I'm not gonna buy a new pen each year. I'm still using blue from 3 years ago.
Last year.
Was it last year?
Last
Red,
year.
red. But, you know, if you've got a bunch, like say Britt or Ellen, you wanna know how old that queen is, you just make sure you've got the right color, and then you know how old that queen is if you don't have records.
How long does a queen generally live?
They used to say 4 or 5 years, but Britt is the only one that had one hive.
I still have her.
It's that
You
one that's
do?
yellow. So what year is yellow?
She's
Tell me that.
2012, she's 4 years old.
Wow.
That is the
I've
only
never had
one out of all of them that I have not seen swarm
I've
or
never
still
cut a
around.
stem cell out of her, nothing. She's never tried to-
I got
We
this.
need babies from her.
This is down there, I'm gonna be grafting from her this year.
You will be grafting from her this year?
Yeah, if she's still okay, I'll graft from her this year because that's good genetics.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah, I want one.
Ellen, we'll go, I'm gonna stop you on something. We'll go, somebody asked about, what do you do if you can't find the queen? You can always shake your bees in your bottom boxes and put a queen excluder on it and put the brood above that you're gonna make a split with,
Right.
above the queen excluder, and those bees will move back up on that brood, but the queen can't go through the queen excluder.
Right.
So wait a couple of days, and you can go out there and just make your split. All you gotta do is grab them frames right out of the top, put them in your box with the bees in it, close it up, and walk off.
Right, like
That's the easy way.
like what he's saying is organize it so you've got, you know, brood in the top and the bottom, and get all your bees down the bottom, put your queen excluder here, put your lid back, your other box back on whenever you got time in a couple of days. All you gotta do is pick this up, move it over here, and put your empty box on top of there and
If
it's
it's
done.
warm, you can even put a third box on,
Yeah.
you know, and put them in the top that way. If it's cool, I wouldn't go 3, but,
Yeah,
and when you make splits, make sure the weather is right. I mean, make sure it's warm, because if you put 2 or 3 frames of brood and a few bees in a hive and make a split out of it, they have a lot of room inside that big hive to keep warm. So
agreed. Mhm.
you need to think about that. A nook box is
Yeah.
the best thing to make a split with,
Yeah, cause
because
they're
they have
little,
less room to keep warm.
cause the bees are gonna have to cover all that brood to keep the babies, cause if not, they'll get chilled and they'll die. I mean,
We had,
they'll
last
be
year,
dragging them out the hive.
well, we had snow in
Uh-huh.
3rd week of March last year, and it got down in the teens. I mean, if you would've made a split, it would've killed them.
Mhm.
Because another thing, if you pop your hives open too early in the year, a lot of times, you'll break the propolis seal on them, and then if it gets cold, they'll do the same thing. They can't
Yeah.
stay warm. And
Or
you can
help
kill
them out and put gray tape back around the seams to help that wind, like
Yeah.
today, it's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I hated it
Duct
today.
tape works great, just duct tape you around the seams.
This is just the older screen wire. I happened to buy something that was, they didn't even have frames for the windows. It had a metal rod there and a metal rod there, but it's real heavy duty. So what I had done is cut some, I would put it in the front, and the bees could only go in the side here and the side over here in the front entrance. But to me, I asked Betty about it. I said, what do you think about this? It makes sense. Whether it worked or not, it's a different story. They didn't have to guard with those 2 holes instead of the whole frame to keep small hive beetles out. Remember, that's one of our pests here.
But it allows ventilation to come through.
Because you want ventilation, especially when it's 105 outside. And like some of the bases, the new ones and stuff, we got it so the air, we'll put this underneath the number 8 wire, so the number 8 wire protects this, so you don't gouge a hole in it or whatever. I took this off a while ago and I was going to show y'all. Back down into here, on one of those that had brood, you have, you know, the capped, that's your little girls, then you have some that you know are your drones, your little boy bees. Pick up just a little bit and look at that, the pupae and stuff like that, and see if you see varroa mites. Varroa mites is a real killer. Betty had told me that Amos is the state inspector in the northern part of Arkansas, and I mean, there's people up there right now that's losing hives because there are too many varroa mites in their hives. So I don't like to have to treat or put chemicals on them if I don't have to. I know that we had the class last month, that, you know, you could use stuff more using the essential oils or this or this. But I don't like to put the check mite strips and this, and right now, I think the EPA stepped in, you can't even do them. And they come out with some oxacillin or something, and you gotta have a mask and everything to deal with it then. So I don't wanna have to deal with that, that's another whole class. Any more questions? Otherwise, we wanna get going with this and.
Ellen, would you say something, and you might have, and I missed it, you know, we have the hive inspections coming up, and if you didn't sign up and you have, you need to sign up for one of these 3 months. But even if, in addition, what she's talking about, all of this, you really need to participate in those inspections. You don't just have to have your hive inspected. Anyone who wants to go along on any of these can learn. And I don't think, Ellen needs to talk to this better than I can, but I don't think you'll have any better learning than going and watching and participating in those inspections. So when we send out the sign-ups, it's not just to come inspect your hives, but any of you can tag along and see these things she's talking about and really get your hands in there. So you need to take advantage of it this round, because we may not have baby again, and you're not going to have any better learning than you're going to get out there in the field.
She's scheduled to retire in June, so, you know, her 40-something years are gonna go away from us. So learn all you can from her this year. And like she's saying, go with while she's inspecting. The dates, she's got the dates on the sheets to sign up when you want your hives, but if you're not working, I mean, she works through the week, but if you're not working, try to make as many of those inspections as you can. You'd be surprised what you can learn.
Better have your roller skates on, don't you?
Right.
She's hard to keep up with.
Okay.
How can you determine how many hives an area will support? That's one of the problems I'm having right now.
If you don't have a complete difference of different food sources, I mean, even if you had a crop, say if you was close to soybean, well, soybean comes and goes, and then what are you gonna have there for them? One other beekeeper that's not in our club and stuff, he had bees before me, he said he's got them scattered around here in Nashville, 6. Don't go more than that. I mean, I got up to 15 down over the hill, but, you know, the bees are in my neighbor's flowers and this, but there's just not enough if you don't have
Yeah.
lots of fields.
And it
Remember, they're gonna
depends on-
fly.
Yeah, it depends on where you're located. If you're in the middle of a forest, you're not gonna have nearly as much forage as if you're surrounded by pasture. Or if you're in the city, you're not gonna have as much as, you know, even the forest.
And all I see around here and have pretty much in the winter is the goldenrod.
But what,
And I don't
what
like
do
the
you
taste of
have
the
over
honey.
there at your house?
I don't like pastures anymore.
Yeah,
Uh,
they wash away?
get close to plantations, clean cuts.
Yeah.
But if not, plant flowers, any kind of wildflowers. I mean, you know, asters or this. You can see and study, get one of these books, check out one of these books, even one of these. which I
What'd
won't-
you ask, how many hives in one spot?
Yeah, well, right now I've got 15 hives in my backyard and they're not doing well.
Where you're located, that's too many.
That's,
You don't
that's,
have
that's
enough
why I was
food
asking
there.
that question.
But like if what he said, if you're surrounded, like if I were to put some at my parents' house, they're surrounded by thousands and thousands of cut over timber. Well, there's blackberries and wildflowers galore. I could probably put 25 at their house and be fine. But there's a lot of forage there. You're gonna go like to my house now and it's big, large standing timber and a little bit of pasture. I'll probably only get by with 10 where I'm at. And where Ellen's at, she could probably get by with 10 real good. 10, well, she had 15 then.
I got up to 15 and I could tell.
Yeah.
So those, that huge the place that sells the honey in Glenwood, it's got all
Yeah.
those oodles of hives, that's cause they're in a valley and they've got,
Well, he's raising, those are all his splits right there. His main big hives are elsewhere.
okay.
That's just the ones that he's taking care of right now.
Now, you can establish another bee yard too.
Right.
If you've got a friend or something.
4.
just fill out
Register
paperwork.
your yard, okay, I did that because like I said, up until this past year, I only had one place, I only still have bees at one place right now. But I registered 2 more yards here in Nashville. I got the person's permission, Betty was here with me, we just kind of wrote up a letter saying that I give Ellen Ward approval to move bees, so many hives are on my property. And Betty got a GPS reading of it. Register the yard first. Get a sheet that the person gave you permission, register it with the state plant board, then you can move your bees to it. Now, I asked Betty, Bob Stewart, he's not able to take care of his. I was getting as much honey off of his 2 hives as I get off of 6 or 7 of mine. So the thing of it is, I asked Betty, can I move couple of mine down there? Yeah, he's got a registered yard, and I got a registered yard. So I can do that, because I'm tending to his bees, he's not able to. But I'm just saying, do it properly with the state.
If you
Another
fill out
question.
that form, the landowner has to sign that form.
Well, they didn't sign it, I just got something wrote on a sheet of paper that went in with the
Okay,
registration
that's
sheet.
called you Betty.
When is a good time to move?
Yeah.
Can we move bees right now to another yard?
If it's cold enough, if it's not, if it's more than 2 miles, they're not gonna come back to the previous location.
But I just wonder, is now a good time to move them?
Yeah, you can. Just close them up at night,
And you can
because
put,
they won't
like-
be out, your foragers won't be out in the morning, and then go ahead and pick them up and move them.
Put something over the entrance, like she made this, screw it to the front, that way they can't get out. And you can move them, we've moved them in the middle of summertime and what, but now's a good
I
time.
just wondered if now would be a good
Yeah.
time to move them.
Wintertime's a good time to do it. Cause they're not out and about and it's not hot and whatnot. You ready to push play?
Here's one other thing I want to show you real quick and easy, when you're talking about moving them. We will strap. Go ahead and bring this one up, girl. We will strap this, and then we're going to get showing this other one before we run out of time here. These little straps I buy 4 to a package, catch them on sale at Harbor Freight for $6.99, $7.99, works great. This makes it easy.
Who made this?
I had the pipes, Bob made this, go ahead and go around to the front. These are $60, $70 in the catalog, but, going under the handle,
Oh, you want I got mine in the hole.
that's okay. But see, when you lift it up,
Oh, that's,
we're sharing the weight on it, but we can carry it that way and go and load it on the trailer, whatever.
Yeah, you can buy them or you can make one.
Make one.
Ellen, one of the books is selling a smaller version of that, lifting up one box. I'd steer away from that.
I'm not real sure what.
I
yeah,
want to
what
move
you
on
need.
behind, I don't want to have to deal with it. Like I said, I just close up the front the night before, so that my foragers are not out that morning. And say if she doesn't get done, and you can't come and help me move them until 10 o'clock, that's fine. All my bees are still in the box. Now I can go take them down to their other location, and then pull this thing out the front and let them go.
And when you go out to seal them up at night, use a red filter on your flashlight.
Uh-huh,
They won't come to that red light, but they will come to that white light.
they will.
And if they're way all over the front because it's 80 degrees, 85 degrees at night, just smoke them. Start
Or
a
take
smoker.
a spray bottle
Yeah.
and
Smoke 'em.
just mist
Sugar
them
water.
with water.
Yeah.
And they'll think it's raining, they'll go in.
Okay, y'all ready to restart this other one so you can see it? Because otherwise we're not gonna get through it.